All right, welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. Pitchers and catchers reporting this week in Major League Baseball in Florida and Arizona. We thought we'd do a little preview, take you around the league a little bit. We'll check in on the Cincinnati Reds. Gosh, this is hard to say. Cincinnati Reds. My guy Dane Myers, formerly of the Marlins, traded to the Reds in the offseason, is going to spend his first Arizona in spring training. Dane, it's great to have you here on NewsWire. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, so this has been a very eventful off season for you. You have the same routine the last few years, reporting to Jupiter, going to spring training, playing with the Marlins, and then you find out a couple of months ago you're traded to the Cincinnati Reds. So this I'm sure may have caught you a little bit by surprise. I know that you were in some trade rumors even at the deadline last year, but what did you make of the deal when you heard about it?
Yeah, it was a little surprising. Obviously it's the business of baseball and each team's trying to get better, so I can't fault Miami for trying to make a move that they felt helps the organization, but leaving a bunch of my guys and leaving the organization that I made my MLB debut in and leaving a good group of fans, leaving all those things behind is tough, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity I got in Cincinnati for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's really the key is opportunity in the big leagues. And Dane, I think for some people who may not know your backstory, I mean, definitely not a clear path to the big leagues to say the least. Changing positions and doing things differently in order to get to make your Major League Baseball debut. For those unfamiliar, catch them up on the path that you made to get to the big leagues because it's certainly very unusual.
Yeah, coming in or in college, I was a two-way guy, so that's kind of why I chose Rice because they were going to give me the opportunity to do both as long as I wanted to, and I was drafted by the Tigers in 17, and they felt my path to the big leagues was going to be as a pitcher on the mound, so I believe that as well. I think deep down in my heart, though, I knew I was a position player and knew I wanted to play every day. Um, I think that kind of poured over into my pitching performance a couple years in, and didn't really go how I wanted to on the mound, and found myself thinking about hitting again a couple of years into it, and fortunately the Tigers thought the same thing, and for them to give me the chance just to kind of change positions and go back to hitting after 2 or 3 years and not really having too much success right off the bat in our inter squad games and practices, and them still giving me a shot and eventually making it to the big leagues was pretty special. Something I'll always appreciate. But yeah, hasn't been an easy journey. I know being the old guy in low A and in extended spring training wasn't easy for me. Kind of expecting to be in the upper level of the minors or the big leagues at that point in my career, and kind of restarting was tough. But put my head down, got to work, and it worked out.
Yeah, I guess my follow up to that, Dane, would be: was there ever a point, and you just mentioned it, being the old guy with all these young bucks coming up trying to steal your job? Was there ever a point where you thought to yourself and said, this dream that I had growing up, thinking that I was going to play, minor league ball, maybe major league ball? You mentioned college playing at Rice. Was there ever a point where you're like, ugh, let me go on LinkedIn here, see see what else is out there? Did you was there ever that moment at all that creeped in?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe not as far as creating the LinkedIn account, but definitely some thoughts about possibly having to get a real job. I remember my first like actual full spring training, and it was just after COVID. So I made the switch right before COVID happened, and then COVID happened, and obviously that was kind of like another year that I had lost. So showing up to spring training that next year, and then going to not making a team out of spring training and going to extended spring training, I felt like my chances were pretty low of continuing to play, but just kind of had some people around me and some people in the front office in Detroit tell me that they believed in me, and that's kind of all I needed was a little bit of extra support to believe in myself as well. So I kind of took that and ran with it.
Yeah, and ran with it with the Marlins, to say the least. You had a nice run with them, without a doubt. Of course, fighting for playing time in Miami, making your debut, doing fantastic. You're the talk of the town in Miami there for a few weeks, but inevitably, all things do come to an end. And I will miss you here in South Florida, but I'm excited for your opportunity in Cincinnati. What have they told you thus far? What is Terry Francona? What is the organization? Have they given you any indication as to sort of where you fit in, or is it very similar to the course of your career, fight for playing time, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't spoken on roles too much. I know we've got a good team. I know we've got a good outfield, in my opinion, and uh, I know we just signed a big bat in Suarez, so he's going to take up a spot in the lineup that somebody else was probably going to have. But I'm excited to be on a team that wants to compete. I think it'll probably be like the rest of my career and compete for playing time. But in my opinion, that's a good thing. That's when it kind of brings the most out of myself, and I want to win. So I'm not necessarily worried about if I play 162 or I play 100 or 110. I just want to win, and I'm ready to contribute to whatever role I do have.
Yeah, we got a minute left, Dane. You've taken pride on being super fan friendly, which is why I've always been a fan of yours. Seeing you interact with fans, especially at the games, signing as many autographs for the kids as possible. Where did you get that from?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to feeling like my career was over at one point. Feeling like I got a second chance at a career, and I always tell people the game's been good to me, so I try and be good back. And you never know who you're gonna inspire and change somebody's day in a positive way. So I've always tried to be that player that fans enjoy to be around.
Dane, good luck with the Reds. Great catching up.
Thanks, Craig.